Hello everyone and welcome back to Goblination. And today I want to do something that I've been thinking about for quite some time. And also I got some messages from people that want to know how to make characters like Mixamo characters into Unreal Engine, and better yet, do it in Metahuman. So we'll try and do something like this in this series. It's going to be a couple of videos that are going to be talking about this. So let's do this. So right now I'm in Mixamo. In Mixamo, if you don't know, you can get your characters, and also you can get some animations that are motion capture data into Maya, Blender, whatever software you use, and of course put it in Unreal Engine. So first of all, I will go into browse character. You can go to browse animations. I'm just going to go to browse characters. There you go. You have a bunch of characters here that you can look at and download at your own convenience, whatever it is that you are fancy. And I have an idea of what character to pick, but it's just to show you what type of characters you can have in Mixamo. You have a very cartoony characters that could work. Also, stuff like this, the face is a little bit too stylized. So you're gonna have to, for Metahuman, you're gonna have to compromise a lot. For now, I could do a series of using a different software that will allow me to have more of a stylized character in Metahuman. And if you'd like that, please write in the comments below that you would like me to cover that as well. So you have different characters that you can pick from. So I was thinking of taking that character. If you want to see other characters, you can go to other pages. As you can see here, this one doesn't have a face, so it won't really make any benefit for us to go into Metahuman unless I get rid of the face or the head piece, and then I will probably get rid of that hose, just have the body and create my own face in Metahuman. But I think we're going to stick to the elf character so that we can really create something interesting for Unreal Engine. See, this is a very stylized, very cartoony as well. I mean, you can play with it, you can try it. I think you can do in Metahuman, you can do something that is a little bit similar, but you're going to have to corporize again a lot. But there's also Erika. Erika can be also used in Metahuman. You can use the body, you can even use the cloak here and use some cloth animation in Unreal Engine that will have a nice movement to it. Interesting. So it's either Erika or our little elf there. Let's go back to our elf. Was in page number 1, and I think I'm going to use that. I don't know why I really like her pants. I like that hood that she's got on, which we can also use a cloth using chaos in Unreal Engine, and I think that's what we're going to use. So once you decide your character, of course you can check animations, but before that, let's download her. We use a FBX and a T-pose. You can also use original pose, which would be a T-pose as well. Mixamo doesn't have a pose like what Unreal Engine really likes, but we're going to use the T-pose. Download it. Here you go, it's downloaded. So in Maya right now, I just uploaded the file that we got from Mixamo. You can see that this is a very game-oriented character. It's very low poly. If I press on that, you can see how low poly it is. So I'm trying to think maybe I should look for a different character just to have it a little bit more detailed. Because in Unreal Engine, we can have way more detail than that. So let's go back for a second to Mixamo. Let's see. With Erika Archer. Erika Archer is a little bit different than the character that we downloaded. She doesn't have that tattoo on her face, which is okay. We don't really need to touch the face because we're going to change it anyways to Metahuman character. We can add tattoo later on, but for now, I think that we just want to replace the face with Metahuman. Of course, she's going to have her own hair, and I kind of like that outfit that she's got. So which one did we download? Ooh. Erika with a bow. Now this would be really cool to get. He's got good details on her. She's got, is that an arrow here? She's got an arrow here on the ground, which would be really cool to get. Okay, that's the one we got. Yeah, that's the one we got. You can see the tattoo on her face. So I kind of thinking that we're gonna use this one instead. Let's go ahead and download this. T-pose, download. Very nice. Matei, we're in Maya with our new character, with Erika, that to me seems like she's got them a little bit more detail, and I kind of like the way she looks. Let's add some detail to it. You know that we don't have a light here, so we don't really need the shadows, but I think it looks pretty good. Let's just change this to see how it looks. And I kind of like it. I really kind of like it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to need to do, we're going to plan it in a way that we're going to have to use it later down the road in our project. And what I'm thinking of is, I am thinking of creating a face in Metahuman. That means that we're going to need to separate some things here. And by that I mean we're going to need to make sure that we have a different shader, or we need to separate that part that we're going to have to use as a cloth object. And I'm thinking that we might need to add a cloth to that ribbon over here, and maybe a little bit of ribbon or a cloth to that part here. But we're going to get to that later. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, select the body. Now we'll just isolate the body because I just want to see just the head. Select this, go to edit mesh, and I'm going to duplicate that because I don't want to separate anything. I just want a copy of her head. Hit select, so all I see is her head. If I open up the outliner, I can see that it is inside her group here. Let me just take it out of the group, and I will call it Erika. You see that he's got some history in here. Let's just delete the history, delete by tag history, and I will also freeze transformation. And now let's do an export for an FBX. That's it. Let's see how it looks. I import it into a fresh file. You've seen. Let's import the new Erika base. There she is. If I see it up close, we can see that we have Erika right here. And from that, we can take this into Unreal. Realistically, we don't really need everything else. We just need her face, so we can really go in and delete faces. But I'm not sure if I want to do that right now. So I'll just import this into Unreal. For it do anything, I need to set up some things. Kind of create a basic level. And then if I look at levels, we have a persistent level, which is fine. We don't need to deal with it right now. So we have our new level in Unreal, and I can see already We had talked about that before, and if you don't remember, I'm going to leave a link right up here, and you're going to see it right now. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to Edit Project Preferences, and I'm going to look for Look and Feel, and I'm just going to select everything that I think should be here, and also I will set as default, yes. Hey, another thing I'm going to look for is middle, and I'm going to invert the middle mouse, get rid of this, set as default. We had talked about that before. There to go. This is way more comfortable for me. And I'm going to go to plugins. Before I do anything, I'm going to make sure that Metahuman is part of this, and it's going to ask me to restart, and I'm going to say yes. And we start now. And when it launches, it's going to tell me that there are some missing project settings, and I'm going to enable all the missing stuff that you need. Unreal. Restart now. Don't let it. Seems like it is working. So let's go back to a new level. Open it. Start a new one. Good. Very good. If I go to content browser, create a new content browser, make it smaller, content, and now I can save this file. I didn't set it before, and now I can save current file in content. I want to call it Erika Metahuman Unalleged file. That's our label. So okay, very good. So now we'll create under content browser, we'll create a new folder, and I will call it models, kind of like what we did in Maya. And here I'm going to create a new folder just to make sure that if I upload something else like her body, I'm going to have a different model or a different folder for that. So Erika face or Metahuman. Go back into that one, and I'm going to import her face. And we have Erika's face right here. If I double click on this, we can see that we have her face right here, which is very nice. That's all we need. Okay, I'll go back to our content browser to the content section. Right click, create a new folder, and I will call it Metahuman Identities. And that's it. We're going to start doing some Metahuman stuff. So if you go right click on that, then go to Metahuman Animator, and I will do Metahuman Identity. We'll call it Metahuman Erika. I will click on that, and here it tells me it's going to log in into Unreal Engine and into the Metahuman section of Unreal Engine. Okay, once it's loaded, once I am logged in, I'm going to basically create our own new Metahuman. So if I do create component, and I'm going to do from mesh because we have an FBX mesh over her face, I'm going to look for Erika. And you can see here it opens up Erika face model. If I press on this, I'm going to take a few seconds for it to populate that inner stage. And we have Erika's face in Unreal Engine, which is nice. For now here we can see the list down here, and what I want to do is I want to select or create a frame as horizontal as possible. We don't need to acknowledge the head, itself or the cranium. All we need is the face area. So if I go closer, let's think this is good enough. I will promote a frame. And he says current promoted frame will be set as front view. I will acknowledge that and say yes. Now all we need to do is maybe select different views or different angles of the face. If I move now, I can basically get a sure look of her side view. Make sure that you see the whole eye. Don't give it a completely side view. Give it a little bit of an angle that you can see the eye and a little bit of the left over here so we can see the shape of the face. And I will promote this as a frame. Do the same thing on the other side. Then I will promote this. And maybe let's do a little bit a top view of the face. Yeah, promote this. Now let's do track markers. So what it will do, Unreal Engine will set up a bunch of lines. Almost like if we talk Maya terms, it's going to be like nerves, curves, with a lot of dots here that you can basically zoom in and see how it looks according to the eyes. And if you like it, you can of course change it according to what you need. But it seems to be like it's saying good job. It goes exactly where the eye is. We can give it a little bit more to the eye. Maybe the eyes are a little bit too small. So we can always select. Either select this and take it up. And then fix the line, the little dots on the side. Let's make sure that we have these circles to have the shape of the eye socket. This. I think this could be a little bit better. But for now, I think this is good. And let's just make sure that we select the right points and just make it, it doesn't have to be as accurate as the picture, but just something that would make sense to Metahuman. For now, this is good enough, and I think I'd like this. I did see that there are some areas of the lips that we can tweak, because what it took the shadows, and it didn't acknowledge the top lip, like I think it should have, because what it did, it took the shadow part. So now let me do it fast, and I will try to make the face or make the lips as close as possible, and I'll get back to you. Okay, guys, so once we have these curves that identify for Metahuman what to do with the face, I basically took the front face and just a little bit of the side, and I tweaked the curves so that the lips will not acknowledge the shadowing, but just the shape of where the eyes are. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just make sure that our character has a body, and I selected this female body right here. Go back to the neutral face, and I'm just going to do Metahuman identity sold. If you don't have enough angles, if you don't have enough angles for the curves, you will not highlight the Metahuman identity sold. So make sure that Unreal knows the complete shape of the 3D objects. So make sure that you have the front view and some sort of a perspective view of the character. Once this is finished, I'm going to press on the Mesh to Metahuman. In here, I will select either Auto Rig Metahuman Identity, Skeletal Mesh plus Full Metahuman, or Auto Rig Metahuman Identity, Skeletal Mesh only. What I'll do is I'll select the Auto Rig Metahuman Identity because we need to use this and fix this as our character with hair, with everything that Metahuman provides. So I'll press on this. Now this may take a little bit long, so I will come back to you once it is done. And so once we are done with Unreal Engine to create the Metahuman, Skeletal Mesh Metahuman, we're going to go to the Metahuman website. In the description below, I'm going to put a link to this website. You probably know it by now, but I'm going to go into it and see our Erika in Metahuman and do it as close as we can to our character. Once we have our character in Metahuman, you can see that this is the face that Unreal got from our mesh, which is pretty cool, pretty accurate. I will just do edit selected. Very nice. So now we need to just edit her to make sure that she looks the way we would like her to look. And let's look for a different facial expression or maybe an animation. But if we do an anchor, we can see how her face deforms. And of course, we can make small tweaks and changes to exactly the way we want it. For me, it seems like her teeth are a little bit too long. We can fix stuff like that. So in order to do that, I will now customize the mesh. I can face custom mesh. If you want to make sure that you stick to the same proportions that you got from the FBX from Mixamo, you just keep it the way it is. If not, you can basically change it here. It shows you what the influence would be, and you will go, you can see that this is our shape, and if I go to 0, it will basically go to the default Metahuman shape. For influence, it's for everything. You can see that if I take it to 0, it takes the face to a female face that Metahuman has. If I take it back to 1, it is basically the character that we had provided via Mixamo. So that if I do blend, you can change it from different elements, different shapes. You can enable this first, and then you can select 3 different characters that Metahuman has, and it will do a mix and match to your character. But I like the way that we got it from Mixa, from our character, from the FBX. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep this, and I'm just going to change color and all that stuff. I'll change the color, give it a little bit of color. But in fact, I'm going to bring the Erika picture and see what we can do with it. We can see that the object from Mixamo is a little bit lighter on the face. The skin looks a little bit lighter than what we have in Metahuman. And she's got blue eyes. Our character has kind of a hazily gray, dark brown eyes, and I kind of like it this way. So I'm just going to give her a little bit different shade of the skin and see where we go from there. Let's give her a little bit lighter base because it's going to match her body as well. It's a little bit better, and I'm even going to give her just a bit more whiter or lighter shade of the face, and I think this would do the trick. If I take it closer, you can see that it looks pretty good to me, so we'll keep it that way. So we have her face. We can do texture of the face. If I change this, you can see that Metahuman is giving us different texture of the skin of the face. The higher we go with the numbers, there's more wrinkles, a little bit more old age-esque. We're going to keep her young, so I'm going to keep her kind of like that with some freckles on the face. I mean, she's an elf. She's probably more fair, more babyish, or more clear-faced. Let's do something like this. Eyes, I kind of like her eyes the way they are. You can, of course, change the iris to show that the texture of the iris. Change it to something more animal-esque. Give her some more magic. The color brightness 0.82. We can change that. Gonna be a little bit darker. No, I think I like the whiteness of this. She's very pure. She's an elf at the end of the day. The teeth, for me, they seem just a little bit a little bit long. We're gonna use here, we're gonna give her here. On the head, we're gonna use the style and we'll give her, I don't think that Metahuman right now has the style that our character has, which is more, it's almost like the anime style. And I don't think we have that. So what I'll do is I'll use something like this. And because she's got a hood on, we're going to see maybe a bit of it. So I think this would be good. And from what I remember from the picture, she's got kind of reddish hair. So we can change the color to something that is more reddish. Okay, something like this, I think would be okay with our character. So now if I want to edit, let's say, her ears, I'm going to press on the sculpt. We're going to do it as much as we can. We can't go beyond and do a really stylized character. So what I'll do is I'll try and make sure that we have some sort of an ear that would resemble a little bit an elf ear. But I don't think we can really go beyond what a normal, realistic ear would look unless we do a full character that is completely stylized, but then we're going to need to use different tools to make it happen. And we don't want to make her look weird, so we're going to do it as close as we can, as much as we can with what Metahuman is allowing us to do. And I still want to keep her pure, naive face without ruining it. So what we could do is we can perhaps edit it later in Maya, but for our project, I think it'll be good to just do it just as a suggestion, not something that we're gonna really dwell into. So under the hood, I think that would be sufficient, and I think that would be enough. I think we have our face right here. You can see that if we try and see how the animation looks on her, is a just default options that Metahuman is giving us to check or to test our new character and see if it matches what we want and if we are able to continue with our project, which seems pretty awesome to me. Now what happens if we do face ROM? So basically it takes extreme poses for us to check if we are agreeing with what Metahuman has done, and with our little bit of work on that, see if it works for us. And it seems to me, I can see that there's a little bit of a difference here, and I can see the penetration on the teeth. Of course, you can pause this and take the frames. Okay, this is where the problem is. So what you could do is go to the custom mesh, go to the lips, and then here you can take it a little bit, take the influence, the region of influence, just a little bit until it stops, and then you know that it takes a little bit from the default pose or the default mesh that Metahuman gives you, and also takes about 80% of your FBX file, and then it basically keeps the shape of your FBX, 80% of it, which is pretty high, and then keeps the default mesh of Metahuman. So if we take to Happy A, I can see that there's still problem with the teeth. I mean, you can go and tweak the teeth if you want. If I pause this and take it here, and if I take it to a little bit lower, 50%, let's do 60%, 0.6, play it. So we still have that shape of our Erika, but just 60% on the lip itself. And I think that this would work pretty well. Happy B, Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. I like what we have here. I like the wrinkles that we get because Metahuman is taking the shape or of the muscles and give you a proper rig to animate with. And I love that. Good. Very good. So we have, let's take it to idle. There you go. We have an idle with our Erika. And that's it. We have it under our Metahuman. We have it saved. This is our Metahuman Erika. And now we can basically take it into Unreal and continue with our project. So let's go back to Unreal and finish the video for today. We'll just create a new folder and I will call it Erika Identity. Now we'll just move these into that folder. Move here. So we have our file, we have our level, and what we need to do is go into Windows, and here I will go to Quixel Bridge. Go to Quixel Bridge, make sure that you are logged in, sign in. Once you sign in, if you go to Metahumans, it will show you your Metahumans. There's Metahuman preset, which is a normal default stuff that Unreal Engine gets you. If you go to Metahuman, you will select our Erika that we just created, MH Erika, Metahuman Erika, and you can basically give her a like, so it will be part of your collection. I now will download the medium quality. Press on download, and it's going to take a little bit time, so give it time and I'll come back to you once it finished downloading our new Erika to our project. You can see here that it finished downloading. All I have to do is just press on the add, importing Metahuman Erika to our scene. Now I can close the Quixel and we have Metahumans, Metahuman Erika, and there he is. This is Metahuman Erika's blueprint. I can drag it to our scene. Once you put the blueprint into the stage, it'll show you that there are some missing plugins. Just enable all the missing plugins that Unreal needs. Enable the missing before you restart Unreal Engine. The select Erika. Okay, let's save this.
Hit subscribe.
To the current level, and I will restart and come back to you. And here we are, guys. We are in Unreal Engine. When we launched it, Unreal Engine compiled all the shader that it needs for the Metahuman. It loaded everything that we enabled that was missing, and we have our character, the new Erika from Metahuman, in the scene, which looks great. Now let's save this. Save current level. So for now, we have Erika from Metahuman. I know that she's got a body, and I know that she's got a face. All we'll need her face only, so that it will match inside her body from Mixamo. So now that we have her here, we can finish this video for now, and in the next one, I'll show you how I put the body from Mixamo and add her face into it without interfering with anything else with the Mixamo body. And this will be a great time to finish this. So until the next video, guys, Goblination.